This is the first time I've been in Hollywood in, I think easily a month, maybe two. I had to come up and see what was happening for Memorial Weekend. It is, I don't see a heavy police presence. I've seen some police. They've all been friendly and cordial. I haven't seen anybody breaking out in handcuffs. I haven't seen any real gangster activity, and I have felt more calm, comfortable, and not having to look over my shoulder than I have in years here so far. But the night is young, and so are we. But if it is as I perceive, hats off to LAPD Hollywood for cleaning up some real problems I saw here in the past, and for being cool today. Because if they were gonna do any wild gangster bullshit, I think I would have seen someone by now. But as I said, the night is young. Well, or it's getting older. What time is it? I think it's almost 11:30. No, it's only 10:20. That's right, because I called Ed just before 10. Gosh, I hope you're well, Ed. Michelle and family. I look forward to speaking with you soon. I'm going to start reaching out to some people that I've known in the past. See how they respond. Some of these people I haven't been in touch with in months, some years. It's fascinating with the few that I have reconnected with to hear their responses, which I will reserve comment on for a future date. And for those who have taken my calls and we've reconnected, I wish you all the best. And hope to work with you again soon, as we discussed. What are you doing for this Memorial Weekend? In America, Memorial Weekend is a day we honor fallen soldiers. Maybe it should be a worldwide holiday for all the fallen soldiers who gave up their life for a cause because of their government or their religion. All the reasons not to give up your life. Maybe it's time we get over who's got the most weapons and start to learn how to coexist, so we don't have to worry about who's testing what where. Why this country got $8 billion in arms or more when they shouldn't have. It's time we just knock this bullshit off and figure out how to coexist. What are you doing for world peace today? Please let me know. Call me. +1 424 310 9718 9719 9720. Or any of my other working numbers you find. You can give me through WhatsApp, on T-Mobile network worldwide through Metro PCS, +1 for the United States. You can send an email to disasterreliefinc@gmail, livevideoinc@gmail, INC like a corporation, or if you want to write a letter, or if you'd like to send a donation and help in the Concert for World Peace, which has been rescheduled to 2020, thanks to my government's intervention to make sure we didn't pull it off in 2019. Actually, that was a sarcastic thing, so I'm not grateful about some of the stuff I've had to endure without choice under government directives, like several years of contracting service, thanks to Ed Muchmore and the FBI and the Department of Justice, where I had the dubious choice of cooperating or going to prison for knowing too much, even though I wasn't involved. But because I had done so much news and entertainment worldwide and knew so much, and worked in research and development and technology in several fields, from aerospace to healthcare, to cures for government subsidized diseases like AIDS, thanks to the Reagan administration. I mean, come on, it's time we call out what's really going on. Or the re-release of TB or polio, mandatory vaccinations, or the outbreak of measles. These aren't accidents. And I'm not a... Really? Wow. I sure hope that's important, and if so, I wish the person well on the way to the hospital. If it's not, which sometimes I've actually seen these boneheads pull donut breaks. Or coffee breaks, where they use the sirens and kill them just before they get near the place they're rolling into. I hope that's not a misuse or abuse. But there seems to be a lot of that in government today, around the world. Maybe it's time we the people, the 99%, put our feet down and say enough of this bullshit for the 1% and those who can afford justice, and the rest of us all get screwed. Real people need a chance to really get ahead in life and not be kept under a thumb all the time. I know the elite don't like hearing that. But sheeple wake up. When they test the medication, they test against a placebo. And only that medication, not the other 14 that you're on. You're a walking science project. Those who think it's government conspiracy theory, do your homework. Google it. Start to figure it out for yourself. Find your own higher power, your own God. And maybe get over all the labels of whose God is better. Yahweh, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Zen, Yen. How about just the Creator and move on and figure out how to coexist, how to get along, how to endure and celebrate the uniquenesses and the similarities and learn to get over the differences of race, color, creed, transgender, alien, reptilian, or whatever you want to call it. I don't speak in theories, I speak in facts. Anything that we've published, you can research and find documented proof, whether it's the real Jason Bourne, the Phoenix, LSD research, bombs, no natural weather on the planet since 1959, thanks to HAARP, HAARP.net, or CERN, the CIA mind control project since 49, or even social media distortion, written in 1949. Research back to the 1800s. And see, I think it says early 1900s. That's not factually correct, but you know, it's based on level of intelligence, and certainly a lot of people running government don't have it or aren't classified high enough to see the real truth or have manipulated the real truth. What I'm asking you to do is start to search for the real truth. You don't have to believe a goddamn word I'm saying. Yeah, my Creator's not going to have a problem with me saying this. What you have to do is be responsible for your soul and the ones you're in contact with. Are you using and abusing everyone around you? Are you judging them? And who made you their God? Or, even worse, self-will-run riot, where you can control other people's life, take away their right to say no. I fought against human trafficking, sex trade, truth about drug shipments and cartels. Cartels work for us. Why do you think we get into wars? It's over your resources, your drugs, your chemicals, your natural resources. We want our lion's share. Maybe it's time we as America fess up to the truth and make amends to the world. Maybe it's time the world stop fighting over needless bullshit and we figure out how to get fair and equitable with each other. And get into fair trade. Cut out all these ridiculous embargoes that don't make sense. Now, I can understand why people don't want GMO stuff in their country or artificial additives. I support that. I'm about pure, I'm about natural. about clean. I'm about getting real. If you believe in anything we've talked about here today, anything I've said, please share it. Blow it up on social media. Let people know you support world peace and you support the truth and you support people trying to find out. When I say Google it, I do mean Google it because I've been with Google since the beginning, since before Gmail was even allowed to be signed up for free publicly, thanks to Ed Much More in the FBI. I helped get on the beta team and help develop Gmail and Google. And Google, NSA, Google copied every major library and institution's books years and years ago. So anything you can imagine, you can Google. If you're not getting the right results, you're just asking a question wrong. Run the translations into your native tongue. You'll find the answers if you want to know the truth. This is Extinction 7. According to the Doomsday Monument, by the end of 2020, they want world population down to 200 million. And if you're not already on the list and you haven't received an invitation from the Illuminati like I have, you won't be here. Now, the Illuminati's not happy that I'm exposing this shit, and they're pretty pissed off, and I've had multiple attempts on my life in the last several years. 6 hit and runs in the last 12 months alone. That LAPD and Santa Monica PD haven't gone off their lazy asses to protect and serve. Felony hit and runs that I'm insisting that they follow up on in several other cases. If not, we'll go dance about it in a federal court or in a national court, because some of the crimes that have been being committed against me are terrorism, war crimes, acts against world peace. They're just hideous. On the advice of friends, I came forth publicly. On the advice of other friends, I should have shut up and hid under a rock. On the advice of self, hiding under a rock would be the wrong thing. I don't want to have to answer to the masses one day and say, well, I was afraid. So I put my ass on the line. Moved out of a multi-million-dollar estate. I put up a fortune to tell the truth. And I've been sodomized repeatedly for telling the truth. Numerous criminal charges falsified and brought against me. 6 driving without a license after cars had been stolen for years that they had dismissed. Several that had been dismissed, but still on public record that I was arrested for them. What's on public record was planted there to slow me down, make me look bad, and discredit me, as I was told would happen if I came forward with the truth by the State Department, by David Nordalis at DSSPII, the State Department, Diplomatic Security Services, Protective Intelligence Investigations. I don't make this shit up. These are real people who have been in my life for years. I was born into politics. I didn't have a choice as a third-generation Kennedy and mother of chairman of the Democratic Party. I believe all sides lie. I've never wanted to be in politics. I've consulted politics, political campaigns. I've covered them as hard news since the beginning of my career. I've interviewed presidents, senators, ambassadors, prime ministers, people around the world. I've done diplomatic work for the White House and for several administrations through different branches of domestic and foreign government. And I can tell you what I've read and what I've seen and what I know with my clearance level is mind-boggling. You don't even know a fraction of the truth. Let's just simplify it and say, if you can imagine it, we've already done it. In your wildest imaginations, whether it be space travel, time travel, aliens, and beyond. Think of Star Trek. Beat me up, Scotty. They had their handheld communicators or tricorders, they were called. How many of you are using handheld devices where you can see each other and communicate? It was just like a Star Trek movie. You have to realize technology was around a long time before we make it public. Government. There was ARPANET way back into the late 40s, early 50s for internet communication for government in the United States. It wasn't released publicly until the 90s on intranet. internet. The stories I could tell would be mind-boggling, but why get all caught in the details? Why not just research it yourself? If I say I've worked with NASA and JPL on the Mars Pathfinder mission, you can believe it or not. Or you can just research it and find out I told the truth again. What are you doing for world peace? You're either standing for the solution or sitting by passively being part of the problem, letting it happen. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, and to the world to stand up for what's right and for eternity. Because, believe it or not, boys and girls, there is life after this material world you imagined. This is Extinction 7. It's not deja vu. You've done this 6 times before. What are you going to do right this time? Talk to me. Bring it on.